There was a point where I wasn't, I really, I didn't, and I don't have an eating disorder or anything like that, but I stopped eating because it was ruining my buzz and it was ruining my coke high. And I remember I got to the point where it was, I stopped brushing my teeth. I stopped showering. I just was very weak. And every morning I would wake up and it would be like clockwork. I would wake up and I would dry heave in the sink because there was nothing coming out. So I didn't have to go to the toilet. I would just dry heave in the sink, and it just became like normal practice for me every day. And then I remember doing it one morning and I couldn't even look at myself in the mirror. I stopped looking at myself in the mirror. And it reminded me of the time I was in college and I took acid for the first time, and they said, don't look at yourself in the mirror. Because it's like you can really see your soul. And I was like, no, I don't want to look at myself. I don't want to see what I look like right now. And I remember being in the bathroom, and I finally decided to take a shower. And I just remember looking up at the ceiling in my bathroom and just saying, I don't want to die, but I don't want to live. And I don't care what happens to me. And I'm not that person. I'm not somebody that thinks that way normally. But I was just at the point where it was like, God, I don't know what you have in store for me. This may be my end, or I just don't care. It was like, I just don't care. And I think that when we hear the word surrender all the time, that was my moment where I was like, I give up. I was never suicidal. Thank God I was never suicidal in my disease. But it was it was like, I don't care. If I have a heart attack right now and die, so be it, and that makes me incredibly sad to think that that was the state that I was in. I just didn't care, and I think that that's at the point where when I was able to actually wake up the next day and I wasn't dead and I still had a pulse, that I was like, that's when my brain, I think, started to change. Like, okay, well, you didn't die, so maybe that's when I started to kind of think, there might be another way out of this rather than just collapsing one day on the floor. Because I lived by myself, and that was I always thought, I was an agoraphobic towards the end of my disease. And I always thought, I'm going to be like dead for 3 months and nobody's going to find me. I'm going to be like, but I didn't care. It was like, that just so be it, And I guess something made me think when I woke up the next morning, that behavior is unacceptable. That's unacceptable. And that's when I think my mind started to change a little bit.